yourself to receive the masculine energy without trying to project that or reflect that onto a physical person. And you're going to feel that anchor in, that masculine energy anchor in more within you. And once you do that, you will allow yourself to open up to that physical relationship, whoever that is meant for you, whoever that will be. That for some, we've been saying for a while now, for some, that might be the original person, the original counterpart. For some, it might be another person. But allow yourself to process any emotions that might still be holding on to attachment, and any fears that might still come through with letting go. And by the way, I realized something today, that for the longest time I had a fear of letting go because I didn't recognize letting go as a process. I thought that letting go was like a once and done thing. I thought that letting go was like, oh, never again, or oh, like, almost like it's cutting off a part of yourself. You don't fragment yourself when you're letting go. You just allow yourself to kind of let it be. So rather than phrasing it as letting it go, you're moving more into an energy of flow and moving more into an energy of letting it be. So allow yourself to go through whatever stages and phases that you need to process that, but allow yourself to open up to other energies or other potentials. Because what you're doing, you're on a sacred union path no matter what, because you were catalyzed to that path. So allow yourself to open up to the energy of the masculine, the conscious masculine, the sacred masculine is what they brought to me. But don't affix that to a specific person, because when you affix that to a specific person, that's actually what holds you back. And it will reveal itself. The other thing that they're saying to me right now is, remember that there are different phases of this journey. And so you needed to go through, we've been talking about this on my channel for a while. Remember, I do it as like two circles, which is interesting, and you'll see why in the blog. It's the Vesica Pisces. It's two circles. I don't know where my pen went. I've been channeling this for maybe a year now. It's two circles like this. This is the Vesica Pisces. This is one phase of your journey. This is where you're moving into, which is the higher heart ascension. So it's like what's happening is, here is where you have all that old energy of attachment and fear of letting go and kind of fixating on that person. It's that obsession phase that we all go through. Be compassionate for yourself. You've heard me say that for the past couple of months. Be very compassionate for yourself for where you were on your journey, and maybe even the old programs that you acted out of, because you don't know what you don't know. You were acting out of old programs. But through your ascension journey, you've raised your consciousness, you've raised your awareness, you're more aware of yourself, and that's where you move through this phase and into the higher heart, into the higher level of consciousness, into your higher frequency. And so sometimes the person that was here maybe was a catalyst for this part of your journey, but this is somebody who is really going to match that. So allow yourself to work through the process, and sometimes it's going to be the same person and sometimes it's going to be somebody else, but no matter what, you're on the sacred union path for a reason. And so that person, whoever that person is, I'm not saying that person, the person, but whoever that person is going to match you in your frequency. It's going to be uplifting. It's going to be protector. It's going to be secure. It's going to be stable. It's going to feel good to your nervous system. It's going to feel very loving. You'll know. Let's just put it that. You'll know by that connection. You'll know by how it feels. Yeah, it's like you're just walking on your path. And I used to think it was like this. I used to think that it was like, you're walking here and they're walking here and then you converge. And it's like, Spirit was like, yeah, kind of. But what's really happening is you're walking your path, not worried about anybody else on their path. You're walking your path and they're on the same path. Like they're literally coming towards you on the same path, and that's where you converge. You converge like in the middle here on the same path. It's not two separate paths, although it might look like that. But with the sacred union, sacred partner connection, you're on the same path. You've always been on the same path. What I received when I was away was the most important thing is to love and honor yourself, because the masculine presence feels stable, feels present, and feels so incredibly protective of the divine feminine. When you guys read that blog, I don't want to talk about it now because I wrote it all out and I don't think I can do it justice tonight. But I was having an experience in a very masculine present energetically masculine place. And I felt the sacred masculine come in, and it was so loving and so protective. And I was like, it's overwhelming to me right now. I want to cry because I've never felt anything like that in my life. Um, that sacredness, that feeling of being held, and not just physically held, but energetically held, emotionally held. Um, the feeling of that came through in visions, that came through in within me energetically, it was overwhelming, but it also felt so familiar. And so I feel like if we're on this path, we have always known that there's that kind of love, that kind of conscious love. um, and I think that's where we're being led.